Autobots, roll out!
Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode on Ginger Toy Mentor. Freudian slip there. I do run a gaming channel as well, if you haven't checked that out. Today we're going to be looking at the Autobot Silverstreak from the Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee collection. And we're going to have a look at him and see what kind of Transformer he is. Whether he's good, whether he's bad, who knows. They've been coming out with a lot of different toy models these days, and these are opened in the front, which is a little odd, so you can actually see the Transformer from the front. I'm not really sure why they went with that particular decision on this particular type of Transformer, but I am noticing that it has a very similar box in many ways to the Legacy Edition, so I'm not really sure if these are actually new Transformers or if they are just simply repaints of the Legacy Edition Transformers. But who knows, or maybe the Legacy Edition are repaints of these. It's kind of hard to tell. This one does say Takara on it, and I've noticed that Takara and Hasbro have been kind of like competing lately. We've got several pieces of plastic holding him in, as you can see, and his gun, well, 3 guns down at the bottom. Let's take a look and see what he looks like. Now, these are usually a lot easier to transform in general, just simply because they are, of course, cars. I've always noticed that the cars tend to be the easiest to transform, just simply because they, of course, are very easy to recognize what the shape of them are. And it doesn't look like the guns are really held in there by much of anything. We do have an issue on the back here, so be careful when you open this guy. His car doors are holding him in, basically. So even though he's being held in by plastic and all that other stuff, they have his car doors sort of just like holding him in on the back. So I would imagine that if you weren't careful, you could accidentally, you know, like pop those doors or something, so do be careful with that. His guns are held in there, the bottom guns are held in there in such a way where I'm going to have to cut the bottom tape holding the bottom portion together so that you can pull the 2 guns out. So there's his 3 guns, and let's see how we can get him out of this booby trap they've got him into. I'm assuming that this piece right here folds upward. It looks like it folds upward anyway. And then these 2 doors could potentially fold inward. I'm having a lot of trouble with this guy. This back plate right here seems like it has an arm attached to it so that it can be pulled out, but it's not pulling out. I don't know what's going on. I think maybe his whole top section, oh there we go, his whole top section pops upward. There we go. I'm glad I didn't try and force that, because that definitely would have either ended in some cardboard ripping or either one of these doors just popping off. So what I had to do was I had to lift the top portion above, like up above his head, because he seems to be latched in here, and that makes him to his robot mode, which is interesting. And apparently these are made in Vietnam, 2019 Vietnam. Interesting. And now I seem to have somehow like severely softened. Oh, I see what's going on. So the arms actually hold his head portion down. So there's these little tiny notches right here, and if you can see it, and on the arm there's also a matching notch, and the arm notch has to go into the head notch to hold that piece down. So that's very interesting. And there he is in his robot form. He's pretty cool. He has 2 guns, and it looks like the guns actually form together to form a bigger gun. Yeah, definitely. It looks like the two guns fit on the side of the main gun. And we could always reference the manual just to see what it says about that, because usually it does have the gun configurations. Yes, so in the manual we do have a picture of them combining the guns together and forming one larger gun. We can also apparently, though, take the 2 smaller guns and put them on his shoulders, according to the manual. So that's another interesting way that it could be done. So let's go ahead and put his main gun in his hand, which he does not have articulated fingers, by the way. So this is just a hard plastic. And then it looks like to put his shoulder cannons on, there's these little notches on the top of his back. It's kind of like his, I don't want to call his shoulders, because obviously these are his shoulders right here, right? But he actually looks really cool with those shoulder guns on. I seem to be having an issue with his, like, his center, because like when he stands, it kind of feels like he's not standing quite right. I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, that's a little bit better. Oh. There seems to be some sort of like fin back here. One of the things that I have noticed is that when you transform these guys, a lot of the times they will not be correctly transformed into the robot mode, and you have to actually go through the process of correctly transforming them. I'm not sure if he is, so let's double check the manual real quick just to make sure nothing is messed up in his robot transformation. Oh no, Silverstreak. I'm pretty sure his back wings come out like that. And okay, one thing I'm noticing is that when he's in his transformation, these little white wings right here that are on the inside are supposed to be folded up. That's part of his transformation. That might actually have been what was causing his feet from not working quite right. Or maybe they are supposed to be down. I'm not sure. No, they are supposed to be down. So up is for the car mode, down is for the robot mode. All right. I guess that kind of like adds like a little bit more stability to his legs, makes it look like his legs aren't so hollow, despite the fact that his legs are very hollow. They're very hollow indeed. There's also these little white things on the back. I wasn't sure if these were actually supposed to be down or up. It does look like for his robot transformation they're supposed to be down, but let me try really quickly just to see how he stands with them up instead of down. I feel like he stands better with them up. I mean, let's take a look at the car mode. How do they have them in the car mode? Okay, so in the car mode, they're supposed to be like this. So I'm assuming they actually are supposed to be down for the robot mode. It's a little odd. I mean, it doesn't seem like he stands as well with them down as with them up. Alright, well, let's get some fashion photo shots of Mr. Silverstreak here. And then we'll move on to his car mode. His car mode should be pretty easy. I'm already looking at it, and it seems really self-explanatory. Transform him in the car. So, on to the fashion. Alright, so now let's try and transform this guy into his car mode. I'm not really sure exactly how to do this, but with the car mode transformations, they tend to be pretty easy. So first things first, let's just remove his weapon from his hand and his 2 weapons from his shoulders. I'm not really sure if they're going to stay there or not, but we'll just try. Now, earlier I did notice that his arms were holding his head down, so lifting his arms up actually releases the entire head compartment. Seems like a pretty self-explanatory transformation. Most likely you just, yeah, looks like there's a little thing for the hood there. It looks like the wheels are on the arms, which is a pretty standard practice for Transformers. So we're going to rotate the arms into the holes, essentially, right? That's usually how this works. And I don't really see a lot going on here as far as the arms are concerned. Trying to get an understanding. It definitely does look like the back end is very simple to transform. Just a matter of rotating the feet down, changing that little doodad there, and before you know it, you're locking the 2 legs together, which is a pretty common mode. And then you spin it, of course, because obviously you can't connect these 2 halves together if they're not close enough. And that's one thing that I'm looking at right now, which seems a little odd, is I'm not close enough. So I think what we've got to do is open this back up and fold these down like this. Yeah. That makes sense. So you're folding the legs into the holes. And it looks like the entire piece rotates right here so that you can rotate this entire thing around. That definitely would help bring things closer, that's for sure. I'm a little bit of a loss of how I'm supposed to connect the pieces together. I mean, it's obvious that they connect together like this. So if we connect these 2 pieces together, we have a pretty easy time attaching them to each other, right? So see, right there, that's a really easy transformation. You can obviously see that's how it's intended. But it's also intended, it seems, for the leg to fold into this little spot right here to close the gap between the 2. But then once you do that, it's very difficult to rotate it backwards and have the correct closure. Definitely some shenanigans going on here. Shenanigans. Not really quite sure how we're supposed to have our cake and eat it too on this one. Yeah, because as soon as we close this back, it immediately... Okay, let's try folding that forward. And then... Okay, we're getting closer. I think we might have... Hey, it's looking more and more like a car. That's for sure. More and more like a car every day. Oh, so it's kind of just like a push it and it just clicks into place. Okay. Not really what I was hoping for, but now we got to figure out these arms, which look like they just go down by the head. Okay, and then the other arm goes down by the head too. Yeah, yeah. Making progress. Alright. And then it looks like his main gun goes on the top of his car, like thus. And then the two guns stay on the shoulders. It looks like I could have just left the guns on the shoulders, because it definitely didn't seem like they needed to come off. I'm noticing something going wrong here. The door's popping open. Oh, so there is a little like clip that you're supposed to click the door into on the arms. So the arms are supposed to hold the doors in. If you look right here, there's a little black nub, and then right here there's a receptacle. It's kind of hard to see it on the door, and it looks like the arm and the door are supposed to connect together. So if you've got the arm in the right place, the arm holds the door closed. I was wondering why the doors were kind of like having trouble staying closed, and that would explain it. So I have to somehow click these arms into the hole, which doesn't seem to be working very well, mind you. I'm not really sure what's going wrong. I mean, they seem to be in the right position, unless they're just kind of like offset, maybe. A little difficult to get the arms into the little sockets that they're supposed to be in. I think I've got it. And when I say think, I really do mean think, because it's like they keep popping out on their own, like all the time. He rolls really nicely. It's pretty cool. Definitely a lot better than Wreck-Gar, which I did earlier. And we're going to do a fashion shot of him in just a minute. He's actually really, really cool looking. I'm sure that Silverstreak, as you can see, is. Can you imagine freaking driving and you're just like staring at the road the entire time? I guess you'd probably turn off your optic sensors at that point. And look, there we go. His door just popped open. I like barely touched something, and his door like just popped right open. I don't really understand what it is that I'm doing wrong here as far as his doors. I mean, it seems like I've got the arms in the correct position. They are definitely down where they're supposed to be. But it just doesn't. It doesn't go into the prescribed spot very easily. Like it feels like it's fighting it no matter what you do, and that's why like just the tiniest bit of like a twist or a click on the frame at any point causes the door to just kind of pop out. And it could be because I transformed him wrong. Let's just double check real quick, shall we? So I'm just going to take a look at the manual real quick, and we're going to see if anywhere in the manual it talks about the arms and the doors. So I rotated the arms correctly. The notches are in the right place. And it specifically talks about the notch that I'm pointing out, and it says that that notch needs to go onto the arm to secure the door. So yes, so the arm and the notch definitely need to connect there. And it does feel like I'm getting the piece in the notch, but it's just not holding together quite well. It's definitely an interesting toy. It wasn't too hard to put together without the instructions, so it could certainly work for a kid. But as you can see there, I literally just like touch the wheel. Like you literally just touch the wheels and the doors just pop open. Both doors. Alright, let's go to a fashion shot of this boy and let's see what it looks like in the
Autobots, roll out!